I am Ace of Spades, and today we're gonna talk about the best multiplier in Diablo 4. Aspect of the Rampaging Werbeast, aka the Cocaine Bear, has the ability to almost infinitely scale damage, and this is how we're gonna do it. This aspect works off your ultimate Grizzly Rage, which transforms you into a bear, and now with a new aspect on it, every time we critically hit a mob, we are gonna be receiving a 10% critical strike damage buff, stacking up to infinite if we can. If you are smart and we use a skill like Landslide that can hit 4 times a single mob per cast, and let's say the pack size is 6 mob, we cast Landslide 5 times, well, you just got 1200 critical strike damage bonus, which is pretty good. Now we're gonna discuss how to resolve every problem related to this type of builds. Grizzly Rage, number 1, can never be on cooldown. Then we need to extend the duration of Grizzly Rage as long as possible so that we can scale our buff more and more, because every time the buff ends, it will reset the buff. Of course, we're gonna be needing 100% critical strike chance. We also want to spend as little time as possible generating spirit, because we want to spend all our time doing crits. We also need to find maybe the most important thing, which is a skill that somehow, when you cast it once, it will hit one mob multiple times, but it can also be AoE, so at the same time you're hitting multiple mobs multiple times. That's the ideal type of skill we are looking for. The first problem we're gonna solve is of course the duration of our ultimate Grizzly Rage. We want 100% uptime, no cooldown if possible, and we also want it to last as long as possible. That way we have more time to generate stacks. Grizzly Rage, the ultimate, has a 60-second cooldown, has a base duration of 20 seconds. With the aspect of the Rampaging Werbeast, we can increase the duration from 20 seconds up to 30 seconds if we want to use the aspect on a two-handed weapon, which will give us double the bonus. We are going to then further increase the duration of the ultimate with Calamity, a druidic boon that increases the duration of the ultimates by 25%. With this, our Cocaine Bear mode is now at 37.5 seconds duration on a 60-second cooldown. There is another boon we can take, Calm Before the Storm. If you don't know what boons are, it's the druid unique mechanic. You can choose up to 5 unique buffs for your build. Calm Before the Storm is gonna reduce the cooldown of your ultimate on a lucky hit chance. If you think that's not enough, you can have 1 or 2 items with cooldown reduction. A late game item can have 8-9% cooldown reduction on them. Okay, very good. Now our ultimate has no cooldown, it's always up. The next thing we need to fix is having a 100% critical strike chance and have no mana issue. Something like Earthen Might is the perfect solution. Earthen Might is a buff that procs on lucky hits and provides both 100% critical strike chance and infinite spirit. This effect has a lucky hit chance of 5 to 25% to proc, and to guarantee that Earthen Might is always up, we want a skill that hits multiple times on each cast and also can hit more than one target, which goes hand in hand with stacking our Grizzly Rage buff. Unfortunately, there is a problem, as Earthen Might only works for Earth skills, and during Grizzly Rage, only Werebear skills can be used. Don't worry though, because we can use something like Vasily's Prayer, which will turn Earth skills into Werebear skills. Just like Jesus turned water into wine, Blizzard now turned Earth skills into Werebear skills, and now our Cocaine Bear can be used with Earthen Might. Vasily's Prayers is not the only option. We can do other things like turn Pulverize, which is a bear skill, we can turn it into an earth skill, or we can do some more complicated stuff and transform Tornado and Lectin Storm so they can fit the build as well, but I will leave that breakdown for the possibility in the descriptions, since I wanna keep this short and sweet. Our Cocaine Bear build is pretty much cooked at this point. It's always up, critical strike chance is there, the spirit is not an issue, we just have to find the best possible skill. Now, a couple of options, like I said, Landslide, Tornado, Pulverize, those are all good options, can be played in different builds that I will cover in the future. My favorite is Landslide, because on bosses where you're not gonna have uptime of Earthen Might, 5% lucky hit on one target is rough. So, Landslide is just very convenient, because you can store up something called Thermot charges, which are guaranteed critical hits that you gain when you mobilize mobs, which very conveniently Landslide does. The Thermot charges will be stored up during the dungeon when you hit large packs of mobs, and then you can reach the boss area with a large number of stacks and use them for the boss if you don't get the Earthen Might procs. There is some downside to Landslide. It doesn't have the most amazing AoE like Pulverize has, but has decent size still and has the highest base damage. On top of that, it can hit a generous 4 times with aspects, and that's 4 stack of juicy cocaine bear buff. Each mob that gets clapped, that's 40% critical damage per mob each cast, so with Landslide, if you hit a pack of 6 mobs and you cast 5 times, you're gonna receive 1200% juicy cocaine bear buff. That's a lot of critical strike damage, but the skill Grizzly Rage will last almost 38 seconds, so imagine how high you can stack this multiplier. If you like this type of content that is deep and sweaty about Diablo 4, leave us a like and subscribe, we're gonna be putting them out a lot more now. Remember, gobble gobble, and see you next time.